Hey everyone, and welcome to AZ Math. You're watching episode number 2 of our series where we solve questions from the official digital SAT College Board Qbank. In this episode, we're diving into the first domain of the advanced math section, starting with the skill of the equivalent expressions at the medium difficulty level. I would like you to find the description of the Google Drive link to the full PDF and its answers in the description box below. So make sure to download it and get your decimals and calculator ready for us to get started. Alright, so starting with this question here, it says, which of the following is a factor of the polynomial above? When you see the word factor, I want you to think of taking each of these multiple choices and doubling it, or basically multiplying it by itself. So when you multiply it by itself, if you reach to the given expression, then that is the right answer. Let's try that out with A, for example. If you have a plus b multiplied by a plus b, or basically a plus b squared, and then we're going to multiply the a by the a, we have an a square, a by the b, we have an ab, and then again we have an a by the b, so we have ab plus b squared. And if you join the like terms, which are basically only these, we're going to end up with a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and this does not match our a given expression. Therefore choice A is not the right choice. Let's try that out with B, and I can see some patterns that yes, this could be a right answer. So 2a plus b, 5b. So the 2a with the 2a, we have a 4a squared, 2a and 5b, we have a 10ab, and then we have another 10ab, and then we have plus 25b squared. And if I join the like terms, which are basically the 10ab, I'm going to end up with 2a squared plus 20ab plus 25b squared, and this does match the given expression. Now, if you try this out with C and D, it's not going to work out because they are not the correct answers. However, B is going to be a right answer for this question. Moving forward, here we are asked to find out which of the following answer choices is equivalent to this, provided that P is equal to 3x plus 4 and V is equal to x plus 5. So this given expression in here with PV minus 2P plus V, we want to look at each P and replace it with this, and we want to look at each V and replace it with this. Let's go ahead and do that. So if you have PV, means you're getting the product of both of them, you're multiplying them together. So you have a 3x plus 4 multiplied by x plus 5, and then moving forward we have subtract for 2 multiplied by the p, which is 3x plus 4, and then we have plus v, which is x plus 5. Now you gotta work this out and expand all these brackets to reach to the right answer. Let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, 3x multiplied by the x, we have 3x squared, and then we have 3 multiplied by the 5, we have 15x, and then 4x plus 20, negative 2 and 3x, we have negative 6x, subtract or minus 2 by 4, which is going to be 8 plus x plus 5 as it is. Let me just, now we're going to be joining the like terms. This is fixed, as you can see here, it's everywhere. So we have 3x squared, and then now we're going to look forward to the other like terms. This is a plus. All right, so moving forward, we have 15x, we have 4x, negative 6x and x. These are like terms. So negative 6x and x, we have negative 5x, then 4x, then we have a negative x, 15 minus x, we're gonna have a negative, positive 14x. Okay, now this shouts directly to answer choice B, but let's move forward. Let's continue. We have the 20, and we have minus 8, and we have plus 5, and that's going to make us end up with a positive 17, right? So 20 minus 8 plus 5 is positive 17, so you have plus 17, and that matched choice B. All right, next. You might want to stop and try to pause and do it by yourself before coming back here and seeing which one is really the answer. Now here, you cannot do any more simplifications for this one, but you can though expand each of these and check which one is it going to be. Now let's try out, for example, A, for example, let's try that out. So if you have x squared plus 1, and then you have x squared minus 6 we are going to do the expanding the bracket, which means you need to multiply the x squared once with the x squared, once with the negative 6, multiply the 1 once with the x squared and once with the negative 6. So x squared times x squared, we're going to have x power 4, and then x squared times negative 6, we're going to have negative 6x squared, and then 1 and x squared, we have positive x squared, and then negative 6. So I can see my constant is matching in here, but what about these ones? If I join them together, I'm going to get a negative 5x squared, which does not match with the power 2 in here. Therefore, choice A is the wrong answer choice. Let's try out B then. So if we have x squared plus 2, and then I have x squared minus 3, so if we do the x squared times x squared, we have an x power 4, and then we have negative 3x squared, positive 2x squared, and then I have a negative 6. So my constant is matching, and even the power 4 is. What about these? If I join these two terms, I'm going to get a negative x squared. So it's going to be negative x squared minus 6 and x power 4, and this does match my expression provided. Therefore, B is the right one. You can try out C and D, but they're not going to work. Again, here we have it, but it's the opposite. And the last one, you were provided that you can work and play with the answer choices, but here, which is much easier and not as much as time consuming as the other one, you directly work with the expression provided. So 2x plus 5, and you can see that square in there. Now, what does the square mean? It is basically you're multiplying this bracket by itself once more. You can just write it again, and then you do the multiplication of them, and they have negative x minus 2, and then you have plus 2x plus 3. Now let's go ahead and do some expanding. 2x, we have 4x squared, 2x and 5, we have plus 10x, 5 and 2x again plus 10x, and then 5 and 5 plus 25. If you are going to expand this, you need to give each one of these a negative. So it's like you're multiplying positive x with a negative wins, so we have a negative x, and then negative 2 with a negative with the negative is positive. So negative is positive, negative is negative always wins, except if it is multiplied by its own. That is the time where it is going to be a positive. So we have a positive 2 and x, we have plus 2x, and 2 and 3 we have positive 6. Now let's go ahead and join some like terms. The 4x squared is fixed because there are no other thing to the power of 2 anywhere, so I cannot join it with anything. However, I have 10x, and then I have a negative x and a positive 2x. So basically out of these I have 1x, and then these are 20, so plus 21x. I can directly remove C and D from all of my guesses, and now I'm left to see what is the right constant. So we have 25 plus 2 plus 6, and that leaves me with a 33, and that matches to answer choice A. Moving forward, this question says which of the following expression is equivalent to x squared minus 5. Now let's go ahead and try out, for example, A. Now as I said, this square actually means that you're multiplying this thing by its own. Let's go ahead and try that out. So x and x, we have x squared, x and root 5, we're gonna just keep it as x root 5, and then again another x root 5, and then I have the root 5 with the root 5. Now when you multiply two roots together, you're only left with the constant whatever is inside the root. So if you add the like terms, first of all, that is a positive. My constant is negative in here, so they're not equivalent, but even if you're going to just add these two, you're going to have like a 2x root 5, and then plus 5 doesn't match, so A is going to be a wrong answer choice. Let's go for C now. So if you have x plus root 5, and then you have x minus root 5, well, these we call them like conjugates. It means that here you don't really have to go ahead and do this. You can only do the first multiply first and second multiply second. If you do first multiply first, you have an x squared. If you do second multiply second, you have a negative 5. This does match our expression provided. It doesn't mean if you do the normal, one where you do this, yes, it also works. It is just a way of you not consuming as much time. So when you see that they are the same, x and x, and the root 5 and root 5, the only difference is the sign. What you can do is, instead of multiplying the first by each of the other one in the other bracket and the second by each one, you can directly skip to directly first by first and second by second, and it is tried and it's going to work out most of the time. C is the right answer. Next, we have this question here: which of the following is the equivalent form for this? Now in here you need to simplify this and try and make it reach any of those. Now you might see the decimals and go like, what's going on? But you have a calculator with you, so if you don't really like working with decimals or find it hard to do be quick with decimals, go ahead and use your calculators. Always remember it's there and it doesn't take much time. So instead of the square, I would just like to write as if it is multiplied by itself twice and then subtracted by 5.2 x squared minus 6.4. So let's expand. So 1.5 multiply 1.5 is going to be 2.25 x squared, x times x, and then I'm going to go ahead and multiply this by the negative. So I have 1.5 multiplied by negative 2.4. I'm going to have a negative 3.6 x. All right, and then let's go ahead and do this one, multiplied it. So we have negative 2.4 multiplied by 1.5, and that is going to be a negative 3.6x again. And then if you're going to go with the 2.4 multiply 2.4, but they're both negative, it's going to leave us with a positive 5.76. And then we have the negative, which is going to be also multiplied by each one of these. So we're going to have a negative 5.2x squared, and then negative by negative is going to be positive 6.4. Now let's join the like terms and check out what is this going to be. So here we have the x squares like terms, and here let's do them with a different color. This one and this one with the x squares. So if you do negative 5.2 and then plus 2.25, you're gonna end up with negative 2.95, and that is not A or B, that is either C or D. The difference between C and D is the constant, so I'm just gonna skip, working with the x's. I'm just gonna go with the constants and try to add them up. And if you add 5.76 and 6.4, you're gonna end up with 12.16, which is gonna be answer choice C. All right, let's go ahead. Just for a reminder, also in the description box, when you access the Google Drive link, you are going to find the PDF of both the questions and also the answers, so you might want to have a look at the College Board and the way they answer the question. So here we're being asked which of the following expressions is equivalent to the expression above. The expression above is cube root x cubed y power 6. So when we have a cube root, which is like could be a little bit difficult for some of us, just think of it as if you are doing whatever the power inside over the outside. So this x is like x power 3 over 3, which is x power 1. So this x can just be an x alone, and then here we have the y power 6. And then you can just say that 6 over 3 is 2. So this is actually y power 2. This leaves us with answer choice B, which the ultimate rule that you can use here is you just take whatever the power inside over the power outside. So x power 3 over 3 is x power 1, which is really not mentioned anywhere. And then we have y power 6, which means y power 6 over 3. Trying to just ignore this root. You can just take the power inside over or divide it by the power outside, and you end up with this. So answer choice B. Moving forward, we are being asked which expression of the following is equivalent to this. So let's expand this and see what happens. If we have an AD squared multiplied by a D, then we're going to be having an AD cubed, and then D by the negative 3, negative 3D, negative 6 and 8, so 6 times 8 is 48, and then we're going to be having negative 48D squared, and negative 6 and negative 3 is going to be positive 18. So I can see the positive 18 in here. Yeah, but I cannot see the positive 18 either here or here. And then we have this one fixed, but then we have negative 3d, and then we have a 48d squared. That leaves me with answer choice C. It is just in the way that they have arranged the stuff. It should be like that because it should be the greatest power. It's in power order. You know, the highest power comes first, and then the square, and then this one, and then the constant. All right, moving forward. We have this question where it says that if x squared is equal to a plus b and y squared is equal to a plus c, which of the following is equivalent to this? So basically, they're just giving you some keys that you can use to substitute in x's and y's here so that you can end up with something that is relatable to any of these multiple choices. So we have x squared minus y squared all square. You can ignore this for now. Let's just substitute with what they've already given. X squared is equal to a plus b. So instead of this, I will write a plus b. And instead of y squared, I'm going to write negative a plus c. All right. All of this is square, of course. Now let's try to expand this one here. We have a plus b and then the negative a minus c, and all of this is square. Now let's go ahead and try to join any like terms that we have. I'm going to end up with we're not going to end up with any a's actually. We're going to have b minus c all squared. All right, so if we're going to end up with b minus c all squared, let's try to do this. So we have b squared, c squared, and then we have negative 2bc. Yeah, so that is going to be our answer, which is choice B. How do you expand this? It's either you're going to just do like this, BC, BC, and do the normal one and then join the like terms, or you can take the first square, the second square, and then 2 multiply the first, multiply the second. So it's either you do this, the traditional method, put the 2 brackets and try to expand in the known way, or you can just say first squared, and then you have here second squared, and then you have 2 multiply first, multiply second. Next we have this question. It's asking if x is not equal 0, which of the following expressions is equivalent to this? Now in here, to be honest, I would just go for using my calculator directly. I would say that I would put the bracket and then I would type this in here. You type the x by doing alpha, which is the bottom next to the shift, and you go with alpha, and then you do the bracket, the closing bracket. You're gonna end up with an x. So I'm gonna write 16x power of 4, and then I'm gonna go ahead and also do the y. You can type y on the calculator as well, which is doing alpha, but instead of this bracket, you're gonna do the SD1, which is directly next to the bracket. You can also set y as any other letter, doesn't really matter. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put on the denominator the x power 3, and then I'm gonna go for the bottom, which says calc. And then I'm gonna set x as, for example, 2 equal, and then I'm gonna set y as, for example, 3 equal. I'm gonna end up with 162. Now I'm gonna go ahead in each one of these and set y equals 3 and x equals 2. Let me see which one is gonna be the answer. Let's go for D, for example, 4x power negative 1. And then here we're gonna have the y power 4. And then I'm gonna go ahead and set x is equal 2 and y equal 3. And I'm gonna end up with 162, which matches what I have, and D is gonna be my ultimate answer.